Welcome, friends. There's a quote that I particularly like from Nisargadatta that says essentially, widen your desires until nothing but awareness will fulfill them. I love that quote. What that means for me is when I'm attached to anything happening in any particular way in the world, I want it to be more peaceful. I want something to be more kind. I want some experience not to have happened. I want more safety, whatever it is. The problem is not from desiring too much, it's from desiring too little. Never are my problematic desires overwhelming. No, they're too small. So, what does that mean? That means if I think I could be satisfied with somebody being more kind, or I could be satisfied with even world peace, or I could be satisfied with more security, whatever it is, that is not satisfying. That is just a condition in the world. It's just a little bit more friendly a wave on the ocean. I will only be satisfied if I'm seeing that I am the ocean. That and that alone is satisfying enough. So anytime that I'm seeing, oh, I'm attached to whatever, I want to be treated fairly, or I want so and so else to be treated fairly, or I don't want somebody to lie or to me, or whatever it is, lie about me, whatever it is. Those are just too small desires. They're an attachment to form, an attachment to concept, attachment to something temporary. Okay, whatever they'll do, they'll make some more lightness at the moment. Really, that's all they can do. My body, my being, my energetic system is going to constantly go through phases of constriction, more density, lightness, more openness. We tend to think we're in a loving place with one, we think we're being hurt with the other. But these are things that this system on earth seems to do. So if I'm trying to manage all these sensations so I can have a more loving sensation, peaceful sensation, joyful sensation, whatever it is, those are all just managing the weather. What about if I fell in love with something that was so big it didn't matter what the weather is? That the weather could just be like, playing around because I'm in love with what I am, what has arrived, what is already here, what can't disappear. So how do I cultivate this deeper desire for awareness? Well, for me, I kind of look at it like a parent teaching their child what is a real bear and what is a fake bear. You just keep noticing the differences, And I've done that same thing with food, There's meals that make me feel really good, and the body's just feels great for hours after meals where the body feels horrible. Just paying attention. A lot of attention will, for me, change the desires for the things that really just aren't that important comparatively. Not that they don't have their role, but they aren't comparatively gratifying as awareness. Knowing that this infinite is what I am. This that outlasts all those sensations of constriction or openness, love or pain. All that stuff is just, there's this deeper knowing that is at play. When we go to a party, everything is available. At a party, people can be loud, people can be quiet, people can dance, people can sit. It doesn't really matter. That everything's allowed at a party. Well, this is nothing more than a party compared to knowing this infinite that I am. And in the guided meditations, I really walk through that experience. It's knowing what I am. There's there's no condition. I could literally, and I have had my health taken away, but knowing what I am, there's there's freedom, there's lightness. There's That doesn't mean that I wouldn't do the things I need to do to take care of whatever's going on. But there's a certain amount of play. There's just nothing that can really be too bad. I mean, but in the end, what would happen? I could get the body to die. Okay. That is be very happy, actually. I know a bit about the other side. Um, but yeah, say I was, locked in a dark place in Hungary. Who knows what those kinds of things are? You can only imagine, right? Um, I mean, I've had a little bit of those things happen, and turns out what I am, it lasts through anything. So this this ability to just stay in the moment and let each sensation have its play, but know that there's there's something here that isn't dependent on the experiences. There's something here that totally belongs because everything emanates from it. That it gives belonging to everything else because everything emanates from this that we are. So, in that rich sense of total belonging, and that ultimately I'm unharmable, and ultimately I'm free. There's truly no diminishment. The being is not diminished. It's not harmed. It's not guilty or shameful or limited, or it's so unendingly persistent and unharmable, and a well of aliveness and creativity, and just a pure fountain of beingness and energy and dynamism. I'm not meaning physical energy, I just mean energy of existence. This is what we are. And if my desires are big enough, only reminding myself, abiding in this, marinating in the felt sense of what we always already are, is satisfying. So I love that quote from Nisargadatta. Expand your desires, widen your desires until nothing but awareness will fill them.